Hi everybody, so this is photography lesson 3. So far we've gotten through 2 lessons. I've given you 3 titles for both of the previous lessons. So in this third one I'm not going to change anything. I'm going to give you another 3 titles, and your mission is to go and take multiple pictures of those titles, and then for an extension task it's obviously just to edit them and to make them of a very high quality. Okay, so we're going to start off by looking at patterns. So pattern is everywhere. You've got man-made pattern and you have natural patterns. So this picture here is obviously of a tiled floor. Looking down on it, you can see that, it's fantastic. So pattern photography uses elements that are repeated. The repetition of lines, shapes, tones or colour can create interesting images. Alright, our daily lives are filled with repetitive patterns, whether with shapes, colours or textures. Perfect examples of repetition exist around all of us. So as a nice starting point, I thought I'd set this one, because if you walk down your street or if you go into your fridge or anywhere, you've got loads of patterns everywhere, okay? So I've put some examples here. Look, again, take 10 photos please. Top tip, cut open fruit and veg to show the inside. It's a natural pattern right there, alright? Set up, if you want to go to the next kind of level, I know a couple of my students have done this before and they absolutely love it. Set up a little mini project. So get a large box, fill it with wrapping paper or wallpaper or whatever. I did actually have one student that hand drew the whole thing. It was absolutely incredible. So put a glass of water in front and watch how that pattern is distorted, so it's kind of like a play on the title pattern. You can see there's a picture here of a woman. Obviously someone's held in front of her, I don't know, maybe a cloth or something, a patterned cloth. This stairway, as the sun's just capturing it, the stairway is actually distorting the straight line. I love that. The inside of a cabbage leaf, the inside of a tomato. Kiwi is always a great one. The inside of a kiwi, people love that. Here's some pictures that I've taken before. There's one there of a rock surface in Africa that I absolutely love that picture. Absolutely love it. So yeah, so please just have a wander around, try and find what you can around your house, look in your fridge, look in your garden, everything you can find to do with pattern. Alright, so pause this video please, take 10 to 12 pictures based on the title pattern. Alright, the second title or subject is framing and looking through something. Alright, so framing refers to using elements of a scene to create a frame within your frame. So you see that picture there, it's absolutely superb. It's looking through loads of doorways. So the doorway itself is becoming the frame, not the frame of the photograph, but the frame of the doorway. So it's a double frame. I love it. So for example, you might shoot your photograph through a doorway, branches, fences, tunnels, arches, and you're going to highlight your subject. So in this photograph there is actual little subject. So I've just found some pictures here. Again, I know that I always go on about it, but these are all off Pinterest, and you can see that this photographer on the right hand side has had a great idea to just grab a couple of, I don't know, they might be cheap frames from the pound shop or whatever. She's stuck them in the sand and then taken some pictures up, and you can see that her subject is a guy that's stood in the background, and I just absolutely love that, I really do. This one on the left hand side is of a girl obviously wearing full tracksuit, but what I really love about this is the fact that the bike is out of focus. It's slightly blurred and then she's in focus, very focal pointy. I like that a lot. The one at the bottom, I don't quite know what that is. If I was to make a guess, it might be a can cut open at both ends, and then obviously they've put loads of water in it, so that, you know, the water adds to that kind of effect. And I love the street view in the background. Alright, so I have put there, please make sure that you look around your house and find things that you can do. Cat flap is a great one. I've had a few students hand me in photos of pictures of their animals coming through cat flaps, or people in the garden but they're looking through the cat flap. I love that. Try and get your model to pose exactly where you want them. I was thinking about this the other day and I haven't said it yet in previous videos or PowerPoints. Please make sure that you are directing your model. You're telling them exactly where to stand and what to do. Please make sure that you're doing that. That really makes the photograph. Alright, so you're going to pause it here please and go and find 10 to 12 pictures. Here's a couple of my examples. So this one was Prague and this one was Lisbon, and again I'm looking through archways to get a photo of something that's going on in the background. Love the colours in that Prague photograph, love it. So 10 to 12 pictures based on frames and framing, please. Alright, our third and final subject of this week's work is photography terms symmetry. I don't know why I read photography terms there. So our third subject is symmetry. So symmetry is very, very simple. You've just got to be a bit precise and a bit OCD. So in lesson 1 I told you to use the grid mode for rule of thirds. So I would, what I like to do is on my camera, my SLR, take all my pictures with my SLR. And what I like to do is I like to keep my grid mode on anyway, just so that it makes me create every photograph on point and I can control that. And you know, if you get it slightly wrong, chuck it in Photoshop, Lightroom, anything, and you can change that. Alright? So the symmetry refers to a line that splits an object in half. If both sides of the object are exactly the same, it's a mirror image of each other, then this is called symmetry. Symmetry is a very powerful tool that lets you automatically create harmony and sense of aesthetically pleasing balance and proportion in a photograph. That was a tongue twister. Right, there's a couple of pictures that I've taken. Again, one of a building. I know loads of my pictures are of buildings, I don't know why. But yeah, that was a massive art exhibition in Valencia, and you can see that the whole building is completely symmetrical. That one at the bottom, you can see that Formula 1 car is symmetrical. Now, I could have taken a picture of the whole Formula 1 car, but I quite liked the idea of focusing in on one aspect and then blaring out the rest. Alright? So please have a look around your house. Try and find some things that you like the look of that may be symmetrical. It might be a guitar, it might be a cup of coffee, it could be a cheeseburger, it could be anything you wanted. Alright? Have a look around, take some pictures please, pause that there and make sure you've got 12 pictures for symmetry. I'm testing myself now, what have I talked about? Symmetry, I'm going to have to check. So framing and patterns. So patterns, framing and symmetry. Okay, they're your 3 topics for today's work. I had a couple of emails based around, you know, I can't find this, I can't find that, how do you spell this, how do you spell that? So I just thought that I'd clarify for you the two artists that I mentioned, and I had a bit of a rake around of past papers as well. Not past papers, sorry, past work. And these are both photographs that have been taken by ex-students of mine. So that one at the bottom there is a play on a guy called Slinkerchew. I told you to look him up. So he's a photographer. He wrote a book called Little People in the City. I say wrote a book, it's got a couple of paragraphs in it, but it's mostly photographs that he's taken. And then this on the right hand side is a play on his work. Obviously one of my students has gone out, grabbed some Playmobil, chucked it in. There's obviously got a hole in the kitchen or the garden or something, and they've taken a close-up picture of that. So that obviously fits in for bird's eye view, it fits in for macro, it fits in for rule of thirds. It's got some good properties, that one. And then the one on the top, bird's eye view, rule of thirds, it's got it all going on. That's a take on Foster Huntington and his Burning House series. So please chuck that into Google, Foster Huntington, Burning House, and have a look. See what you think. And obviously Google Slinkerchew as well and have a look at his work. So obviously I am asking you once again, like I did in lesson 1, lesson 2, please chuck your work into Lightroom, Photoshop, see what you can do, bring out those colours, make them all like very, very perfect, sort your lines out, maybe bring some highlights out, some shadows, use Snapseed, use Comica, just try stuff out, have a little play and see what you can do. Okay, so that's lesson 3. Thank you very much.